Okay. What is ETL testing and why it is important to do ETL testing in the real time? Have you ever done any testing like manual or automation or API testing? Have you heard about those terminologies?
No, no.
Okay, fine. So if you take any website, for example, any bank like ICICI or Amazon, what you do is you have kind of mobile application or you have web application. Even in mobile as well, you have mobile view of the website. So if you type i.m.icicibank.com, then it is a kind of a mobile view, but it is not a mobile app. So what you need to do as a tester, so they will give you a module. So for example, say that, okay, so I need to register so and so. You need to register in Amazon or ICICI Bank. So you have certain fields, kind of first name, last name. Um, Maybe they might ask you date of birth and mobile number or Gmail ID or any ID, not Gmail, and then your password and then confirm password. So these are the fields they will ask you to enter. So as a tester, as a manual tester, what I do is for each label and value. So if it is a first name, then I need to enter my first name. So for each and every field available on the registration form, what you do is what is the limit? Like username should start with only alphabetical characters, not with the numerical. So likewise, and for password, so earlier you used to create minimum 6 characters, but now some companies they are asking minimum 12 characters. So you need to see all these um, um, like you need to check all these boundary values and what is the minimum value, what is the maximum value, what if I give beyond the boundary value. So you need to check all these things. And if it is a email ID, then again they will say that at gmail.com or at yahoo.com. So something like that. So you need to do all the validations. And finally, once your validations are approved, then finally what you do is you will be saying that my testing is completed. So as part of your system testing. So as a tester, what we do in the very beginning, system testing. As a manual tester, we do system testing. As a developer, he does unit testing. So now, if you look at the bank or Amazon, roughly how many millions of records they'll be having as a users? 1 million. Roughly, it will be 1 million. Assume that we have 1 million customers. So each customer might do minimum 5 to 10 transactions in a day. So in that case, it will be 5 million transactions. So per day, if 1 million customers are doing 5 million transactions, um, in a month, how many millions it will be? 150. So likewise, your data will be keep on growing. So that is the reason people will say, like there is a terminology called data is the new oil. So like it is kind of like gold or diamond. So data is the new oil these days. So so if you have the customer data or whatever customer data you have it, so you have to keep it as a as like gold or diamond. So that's what they mean to say, or even oil as well. So how we need to test this data? So we know there is a website, we know there is a database. So the moment I enter, it will be stored in the database. So when it is storing the database, you have kind of CRUD operations. So you can create or means you can insert the data, you can read the data, you can update the data, you can delete the data. So this is called CRUD operation. So that is your transactional system. So whenever you do transaction on daily basis, those systems are called transactional systems. And these companies, they will have a cutoff date or a cutoff time, saying that um, so by so and so time, 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, if you do transactions, beyond 11 o'clock, if you do transaction, and it will be treated as next day's transactions. Why? Because they will do kind of batch job. So this batch job, what it does is, whatever transactions happened in a day, so those entire data, they will start slowly moving to different um, stages. So you'll be having staging 1, staging 2, staging 3. In each staging, we will cleanse the data, we will filter the data, we will apply business transformations. And finally, we will store it into data warehousing database, or these we call it as enterprise data warehouse. In online transactional systems, so where I say day-to-day transactional, you like as a user, you have permissions to do insert, read, update, and delete. But when the data has been moved to data warehousing system, it is only read-only data. So you can't apply any, you can't insert the data, you can't update the data, you can't delete the data. So it is impossible. Why? Because, for example, you have an account with some XYZ bank, you have an account, and today you have already a balance of 5 lakhs rupees in that account. And you have done some credit. So you have done a credit of 1 lakh, and your total will be 6 lakhs. So when they do any batch processing, what it does is, in our account, end of the day, it says that okay, so and so person has 6 lakhs in his account. So instead of 6 lakhs, assume that it went only 5 lakhs 50,000. 5 lakhs 50,000 only. They can see it in data warehousing database. So whose fault it is? Will they just continue, or will they inform you? Because next day you are coming and immediately doing some transaction. You want to take some 10,000. But when you look at your data balance amount, it is some, you expected it should be 5 lakhs 90,000, but there is a difference of 50,000. So immediately what you do is you will give a call to them and say that, so I see a reduction of 50,000 in my account. So can we explain what it is? And then what they do is they'll start from the online transactional system, and they'll slowly check where it went wrong. And finally, they will correct, and they will say that, okay, next day, give us 24 hours to 48 hours. And then you will get a message that your revised balance is 5 lakhs 90,000. So any transaction, what is happening? It is they are going from online. Even if there is a change in our date of birth, or in when there is a change in our address, or when there is a change in our mobile number, what do you do is you will either using mobile app, you will modify your details, or you will visit to the bank and you will fill a form, and then they will update your data, or you will go to your website and you will try to update the details. So anything what you are doing is you are using only online transactional system, and from there it is going back to the enterprise data warehouse. Okay, so that is the like, so that is one example of what is the difference between online transactional system and data warehousing system. And another one is, so I think you guys might have heard about some Q1 results, Q2 results. Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. So these results will be published by all the organizations whoever has listed in stock exchanges like BSE or NSE or any American or anything. So what they do is they will publish their results quarterly based. So how do they submit? Like how do they get these kind of results? If you look at the figures, they'll have figures or they have kind of bar chart or line chart or something else. So how do they derive or how do they produce these kind of reports? So as an organization, if you take kind of like this time, I will take some company, TCS or Infosys. So these companies, they are across the world. So each country, um, um, like they have their own finance department. But for entire organization, you have only one finance officer, that is the chief finance officer. And they have multiple clients or multiple accounts, and they have employees and everyone. So what they do is in these 3 months, what salaries they have given to the employees, okay, how much amount they spent on advertisement. It can be anything, advertisement, even for jobs also, they do advertisements. And what was the travel cost? What was the travel cost? Like if I'm going to on-site from TCS or Infosys, what they do is they only like everything, like from starting from your visa and then flight tickets or any forex code, everything will be provided by the company. So eh, for all this processing, it is a money. So they need to your flight tickets, and if you are going for 1 month trip, they have to give some cash and then travel card. And even if you're going for permanent as well, so they will give even more amount than your um, business trip. Okay, so all these things. And finally, if they have any transport, so like if you see if someone stays late nights or if they have different shifts, so they will provide kind of transport. Or assume that if they have kind of um, meals in their canteens, some companies they will earlier, not now, I do not know now, but earlier they used to provide free meal or for 1 rupee meal. So all these things they will get all this information, and finally how much profit they have received or how much loss they have incurred. So that is the information they will give in quarterly results. So when they produce, assume that currently we are in kind of Q3. Okay, so recently you might have received, they might have given Q2 results. And from Q2 results, they will compare with Q1 2022 and Q2 2021. So this is how they compare when they provide any results. So this is how they do it. And they will have prediction for next quarter. What is the prediction for next quarter? Either it can be kind of positive or negative. So, so all these kind of reports, who will generate this one? So there is a team. So starts with data engineer. So this person, what he does is he pulls all the information from online transactional systems, and when the data passes to multiple stages, first cleansing, then filter, then applying business logics, and finally it goes to enterprise data warehouse. So your source can be anything. Your source can be it can be CSV, it can be JSON, it can be XML, or it can be Excel sheet, or it can be any database. And your target should be data warehouse database. Okay, so data warehouse database. Here you can say my database Oracle, SQL Server, or Postgres, MongoDB, or something. So there are so many databases available in the market, and your data warehouse database will be Oracle, SQL Server, Redshift, something else like DynamoDB or Cosmos DB. Okay, so this data engineer, what he does is he will use all source information and sends the data to multiple stages. So these stages he will not define. So you have kind of architect, data architect. So this person will provide all the information. So we will discuss each and every point and do not worry about it. So once data engineer completes his workflows or pipelines, so then he says that, okay, I've developed everything, whatever is required for the use case or user story or the sprint or the requirement. Then it will come to us as a tester. So we need to see what is the table, what is the file, um, what are the columns, and what is the each column data type or each column length in the source, in the target. So you need to check all the information. And finally, you will say whether the test has been passed or you are having any problem. So if you have any problem, then what you do is you will raise a defect. Okay, so that is what you do as a, so this is ETL. So as a data engineer, so we'll say this is ETL. So once we have data into data warehousing database, so again, so what they do is they'll copy to another database. Okay, so this time it can be Teradata or something. Okay. Now there is another team called BI or BI developer. So BI means business intelligence. So ETL means extract, transformation, load. So this BI developer, so there are so many tools available in the market. So you can um, heard about you might have heard about Tableau or ClickView or IBM Cognos or SSRS. So from Google there is kind of lookup, and in SAP, yeah, there are plenty available in the market. Or SA. Okay, this developer, what he does is, again, he has three phases. So those phases I'll talk about you. The last one is presentation layer. In the presentation layer, what he does is, so like again, as here the data is going to multiple stages. Here also the developer moves the data into different phases. The last layer is called presentation layer, where everyone can see it. So in the presentation layer, he creates kind of reports, he creates kind of dashboards. So these, based on this report or dashboards, what we need to do is this will give the prediction about how much business has been done in the company over the last month or the quarter, and what are the sales, like everything. So whatever I talked about here, so I'm taking an example of TCS or Infosys. If you consider ICICI or Amazon or any organization, so finally they will say that, okay, based on this report or based on this dashboard, so what they say is, okay, they have kind of analysis for your present and for your future. And based on that, what they do is they do kind of decisions. So the decisions are to improve their business. So even though it is doing good currently, but they will think about, okay, so where do we need to reduce the cost? Assume that if they're spending more amount in traveling cost or transport. So immediately they will say that, okay, okay, our target for next month is to reduce these two things. And then immediately what they do is they'll start sending less people to on-site. And even transport also, what they do is they kind of reduce the shifts. Okay, if it is mandatory by or a client, then they will operate those shifts. But if it is normal ones, then they'll try to reduce them. And even same, it is same for advertisements. And finally, it is for employee salaries as well. Okay, so yeah, so they can do whatever they want. Okay, so these kind of reports, so they have monthly and they will accumulate, and finally they will be having for a quarter. So again, as a ETL tester, what you need to do is you need to do BI testing. So as a ETL tester, so you are doing entire data warehousing testing. So kind of data warehousing testing means it is ETL testing and also BI testing. So if someone might ask you like, okay, so I know as a ETL tester, you do, or as a data warehouse tester, you do only these kind of testing. So have you ever done data migration testing? Are we doing any data migration testing here? Any guess? Okay, so data migration. Look here. So here what data engineer is doing is, this is, any of these can be his source systems or all can be his source systems. But his data warehousing database is only one. So if it is from DB to DB, if it is a different DB, so like for example, my source is Oracle, my target is Teradata. If my source is Oracle and my target will be SQL Server. Are we doing migration here, data migration? It's kind of a migration. Why? Because it is different. The queries, whatever you prepare for Oracle is different, and the queries, whatever you are preparing for Teradata is different. But in interview, people might ask you like, okay, um, what are the databases have you worked so far? So you will say, I know only Oracle and I know only SQL Server. So immediately they will ask you a question. Um, are you comfortable with Teradata or are you comfortable with Redshift? So then the next question, they will ask you this one. Then you need to say that, so whatever databases we have currently, 70 to 80% are same. They are same. So if you take select statement, it is same. If you take update or insert, maybe there might be slight difference for insert between Oracle and the SQL Server, or delete or truncate or alter or where clause, join clause. Okay, so you have or any set operations like minus, union or intersect. Okay, so all these keywords are same in all the databases. There might be slight different. That is the reason we will say 70 to 80% databases are same, whatever we have currently, and only 20% difference. Like if you take um, Teradata, I have kind of fast load, I have kind of BDQ. These they'll use them very rarely as a ETL tester or BI tester or data warehouse tester. I'm not worried about it. I'm worried about whether the data is moving from source system to target systems properly or not. So the execution of these fast flow or BTQ will be done by your development team. So they will take care of it. So when they create these workflows or pipelines, they will take care of it. So do not worry about it. So our main focus is how we need to test it. So how comfortable in writing the SQL queries. So because in the real time, you might be writing um, minimum 1,000 lines of code or maximum 10,000 lines of code. Like here, each column is one line. So like generally, what we do is when we write any SQL statement, I will say that okay, select employee number. I'm just giving an example. Employee name, salary, or DEPT and go. So from EMP table where department number is equal to 10. Then order by salary descending. So this is how we write it. In general, everyone writes like this. But when you are a proper ETL tester, you should not write this way. So what you need to do is you need to write this is how you write it. Okay, so like this, it will be sometimes 4,000, 5,000 lines of code you will write it. So columns are fine. So anyone can write the columns names. The main core is how you write your where condition, how you join with the other tables, um, like then how comfortably you are using set operations, like as I said, union or intersect and minus, or if you have any other kind of queries, subqueries, so how well you are using them, or if you are using any case statement, so how well you are using within a column. So this is what we learn as part of the course. When like give me a minute. In real time, so there is you will receive one document that is called STM document, source target mapping document, or data mapping document. So that is kind of your requirement. So they will provide you the requirement document. In addition, they will provide this document as well. If they provide, it is good and your job is easy. If they do not provide it, so you need to prepare your own data mapping document. So, but in general, definitely the development team will provide, or your data architect will provide this document. So this is how this document will be. So what is the purpose? So this is my table. So this is one of the table in my enterprise data warehouse, or in my data warehousing database. This is one of the table. So this table you can see is deriving from multiple tables. So one, two, so two tables, and yeah, two tables. So each table they are providing what is the column name and what is the data type and length also you can see here. And if you have any description, they are providing description, and also they are saying what is the primary key. So in my target table, outlet ID is the primary key, and it is uniquely generated by Informatica. You can see. So here the ETL tool is Informatica tool. And the next column you can see outlet NM is coming from this table, staging table, and this is the column name. So in the source, it is network NM, but when it is coming to target, it is outlet NM. So likewise, they will give all this information like a similar way. And finally, they will provide you what is the logic as well. So how many tables you need to join. So this is another table. To get this fact detailed summary information, you need to join 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tables. These 6 tables, so good that they are given you the join condition. Yeah, as I said, some ETL developers or the data engineers, they will provide you all this information. If they do not provide, so you need to be preparing your own queries. Okay, so I had an opportunity when I joined the organization. Like I was creating the queries initially, and no one has given any hint that okay, there are some existing queries are available. So they didn't say anything to me. I was just going whatever is there in the document, STM document, and also in the requirements document. But um, my on-site coordinator, when she asked me like, Suresh, are you done? Then I said yes. Then she has given to review to one of my on-site colleague, and he said no, this is not the correct one. Like he hasn't used the existing queries, the join condition. So then he said, okay, Suresh, there is a location where you can go and refer. Then I modified and it started like that was huge for that release. Like as I said, it was 4,000 to 6,000 lines. So where I need to do kind of join 2 times and 4 times I need to use the set operators. So yeah, so that will happen. So if someone is not giving proper information about the existing queries, or assume that if it is a brand new one, so whole and soul, you are the responsible. So you need to be in touch with your development team when you are testing it. Any doubts? Do you have any questions up to here?
No.
So okay, yes. So I'll just uh, let you know, guys, what are the topics we are going to cover as part of this course. The primary one is data warehousing concepts. So this is same for ETL developer, ETL tester, or BA developer or BA tester. For all these people, it is the same concept. Then you will learn SQL. So here we discuss about Oracle SQL Server. So we will begin with SQL Server first and see how we um, access them. Hello. So be prepared. So we'll start creating SQL Server database. So either on premises. So on premises means you will download from the Microsoft website, and then you will be having SSMS SQL Server Management Studio to access the database, or we will go to Azure and create SQL Server SQL database, and we will access it via um, Visual Code or SSMS or other tools available um, or given by Azure. So any tools given by Azure. And the next one is we will discuss about manual testing. So if you have experience already, so no worries, we will just refresh everything, all the topics, and then we will go with Agile. Like you need to know what is the difference between waterfall and what is Agile. So it takes 1 or 2 days Like it is always good if you check any job summary, definitely they will be mentioning agile methodology. Then finally, what we do is we will learn ETL testing. Whatever we learn here in the sequence, the same thing we are going to apply in the ETL testing. So the more you are means experienced or practicing these two, you can utilize them here, and you'll not be having any issues when I going through different workflows or different pipelines. It will be easy for you. And finally, we will talk about Unix and Jira. Why do I need Unix? So what happens? Sometimes, as I said in the very beginning, you might receive data in the form of CSV, JSON, or Excel, or XML. So these files, they store it in kind of file servers. So like in currently, we have in AWS S3 or Azure Data Lake. So either you need to have access to S3 or Data Lake, or they will store them in Unix or Linux servers. If they store in Unix or Linux servers, what you need to do is you need to get them using proper access. They will be providing you to access the servers. What is the username? What is the password? Then to view and all the information. So you need to use couple of commands. So sometimes what they do is they'll write kind of scripts. These scripts will talk to the database directly. So yeah, we'll not write anything. Do not worry about it. We'll not modify anything as well. But we should know what they have written in the script. Okay. So we'll see some example live like any company's example and go through each and every command. And Jira. So why do we need Jira? So any idea about Jira? Have you heard about Jira anytime?
Yeah, I have heard.
So what generally Jira when you are into a site
Ticketing.
or yeah anything. So assume that if I want to create one epic, so I can create an epic, or if I want to create one user story, I can create it, or if I want to create any defect, I can create it. Or if you want to club your backlog items or your release items, move them into a sprint, you can do it. You can define your sprint. Okay, you can assign them to multiple people and each and every stage. So you do drag and drop. So kind of you'll create a nice dashboard, or not you, your Scrum Master or the product owner or someone else will create so nice dashboards. And during the daily stand-up meetings, they will say that, okay, this user story, what is the current status, whether the development is being completed or testing is completed. So before testing completed, you have two phases again. So whether you have written your test cases, whether you are ready with your test data, or your test environment is ready, or your test cases have been reviewed by someone else. So you have four stages. So before start of your execution, so you need to make sure all the things are done. So they will check each and everything, and they know what are the action items for next day. So you know, right? So the daily stand-up meeting they do only for 15 minutes. So in this meeting, they will talk about only three things. So what have been completed, um, like yesterday, and what are you going to do today? Do you have any problems in achieving your result? So result means in completing your task. So assume that you might have told them, okay, I need 1 week's time. So every day you are saying, okay, I completed 20%, now 30%. And third day you are saying 40%, where you should be completing 60%. And fourth day you said I completed only 50%. But on the fifth day you are saying I am still in 50%. So you have you you are given the estimation to complete it in 5 days of time, but every day daily stand-up meeting is happening, and you are giving the percentage of completion, but you are raising red flag on the fifth day, not on the first day. So that is the reason they will target about only 3 points. What are you working, or what you have worked yesterday, and what are you going to work today? Do you have any problems in completing your task or to complete your goal? So it is always good to raise, even though you have a slight doubt. Okay, you know that you are going to finish it in 5 days of time, but you had a sense on the second day or third day. When you sense it, raise a flag saying that yes, I'm my encounter or will be in trouble in completing this task, maybe because of my lack of knowledge on the task, or I might need support from external systems, how they are going to send the file or the database or the format. So you need to talk about all these things. So it is sometimes um, like if you are into a waterfall methodology, what you do is you will talk to your lead, and your lead will put everything in a test plan. So even now we will prepare the test plan, but make sure that when you are having daily stand-up meeting, test lead will not speak. So as an individual, it is our responsibility to raise a red flag upfront in front of everybody, and they know it, and they will value your whatever problem. Okay, they will not say that okay, it is because of you we are getting delay or being delayed to deliver the product to the production. No, they will not do anything. If you raise it, it's good. Okay. Jira, you will. There is another thing called confluence. So this confluence, mostly your business analysts or the architects or who are subject matter experts. So they'll be using them, but you might be receiving a link to access the documents. So only read only access. So confluence. So finally, we do kind of BI testing. So I'll try to show you or create some reports or the dashboard and how we are going to test them, because it is kind of a graph, or it is in the form of report like Excel, but how those values are derived from the database. So we need to compare those information and say that okay, so this is proper. So we'll not leave even 1% of chance while we test or during our training. Okay. Um, at the end, since we are talking about Oracle or SQL Server, there is another database called Postgres, which is free in the market. So we will also touch this database. So if you know multiple databases, it is always good. But in your interview, what you do is you focus only on Oracle or SQL Server. Or if you are very confident, yes, I can put experience on PostgreSQL. That's good. That's fine. Because as I said in the very beginning, 70 to 80% databases are same. Okay. So this is the course summary. Like these are the topics we are going to cover. So it will be, if it is every day, so we might complete entire course in 45 hours. So it is like 45 days. So, but only one thing is, um, these are the theory topics. So data warehouse concepts is a theory topic. Manual testing is a theory, and agile also is a theory. ETL testing, we have both theory and practical. And Unix also, you have theory and practical. Jira again, same practical, but you should understand the terminologies and everything. Then, yeah. So you should be this theory. What you need to do is you need to um, by heart, or you need to understand each and every definition. So what they do, because for example, they will ask you in the interview, what is snowflake? So we will say what is snowflake, but um, he's talking about only the schema. So there are only couple of schemas available in data warehouse: um, star schema, snowflake schema, or hybrid schema, or if you have different names. If you might have encountered different names, yes, they are available in the data warehousing system. But there is a Snowflake database as well. Yeah, the company name itself is a Snowflake. So they are into um, uh, ETL business. So they have their own data warehousing databases, and yeah, kind of a part of ETL they have. Most of the companies they started using Snowflake database as alternative to Oracle and SQL Server, because it is end of the day it is cost. Whoever gives the lesser price, so the company will move to those companies. So it is a strong competitor for Oracle, SQL Server, or Teradata. Okay, so these kind of, so we should understand what kind of question he is asking in the interview. Okay, whether he means to say it is a schema. So and also you need to make sure that uh, you haven't mentioned Snowflake database. Okay. Fine. Next thing is, so I have interview questions for each and everything, so do not worry about it. I will share all these thing when we complete one section. We'll just one day we'll go through all the questions in that topic. Like for example, data warehousing. When I say during the course, it is different, but when we practice for the interview, it is different. So you should answer like a professional. Okay, so in book or on internet or somewhere, or based on your friends or who anyone, so whoever is working, they might have given some definitions to you guys. So forget about all those things. What you need to do is whatever we are going to discuss during our training, focus on that. Then if it is come the terminology, as a professional we should focus on the terminology on in day-to-day life, so how they are going to. So for example, I'm an experienced person who is working currently in the organization for last 4 to 5 years. So I know what is happening in the organization, but I do not know what are the questions they are asking in the interview, right? So these interviews, so as in that uh, after training you are going for the interview and I'm also coming for the interview, you might be knowing more than me. So that is what they decide, so who knows the topics. So I have experience, practical experience, but you have both theoretical and practical experience. So if you are giving theoretical answers, so if you are answering properly everything but you are not giving right answers for in the practical, then then they will decide, so okay, whom, okay, can we give another chance to this guy, kind of like, okay, round two. Okay, so these things will happen. So here we cover everything, so do not worry about it. And finally, I have a kind of SQL document, so where during the interviews they've asked a couple of questions and how we are going to address them in a separate document. Apart from that, so I have my colleagues and friends. So what I do is I will ask them to take kind of mock interviews. So after the course, so you need to be prepared for next 5 days. As in that, 45 after 45 days, if you are spending every day extra hour, so then you will be pro after 45 days. For the next 5 days, you properly um, prepare the interview questions, whatever I'm going to give you guys. And my friends or colleagues, what they do is they'll kind of mock interview. So it is only technical. They might not ask about the project in the very beginning, but if you are confident, so they will start asking questions about your project as well. The project is very important. Um, the, the first question they ask about you is what is the architecture? Okay, so I've given some example here. Do not worry about it. And when we go through the topics, I will give you the live example. So how the real-time architecture will be, and then each stage what is going to happen. It's different to different. It's different. Like in one company, I'll just use extract, transformation, load. That's it. So I'll use only three stages. So extract, transformation, and then load. And other people they might use 4 to 5 stages, because in one of my project we have used almost 7 stages from source to target. But you need to finish everything in 1 week, 2 to 3 weeks time. So yeah, it is different to company. So do not worry about it. If someone says that okay, this is the right architecture, so yeah, this is what we follow. Any other questions? Okay. So as I said, these are the topics we are going to discuss, and you inform to Sanjay, and from tomorrow we will start the same time, and we'll start with the data warehousing concepts. And as I said, be prepared for theoretical one. So initially it will be a bit difficult. Like, so assume that in your college days you might have learned about DBMS, database management system, but that is only theoretical. But you have practical as well, right? Like you will be working with Oracle or some other database. So that is one. So the concept is database DBMS, but the practical is real-time database. Similar way, we have data warehousing concepts. We have tools for them. So like ETL tools, BI tools, and that will be developed by your data engineers or the ETL developer or BI developers. But we should be testing them by knowing the concepts, by knowing the SQL knowledge and other knowledge as well. So what are the tools? Because if you ask help, the developer definitely they will provide to you guys. If they are busy, yeah, we need to create our own um, things. Okay, so do not worry about it. So we will cover everything, almost everything what is required in the real time, and that you will be knowing it when you are having mock interviews.
So one question, Suresh.
Yes, please. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, can we make it happen in the morning sessions? Because I work in the afternoon sessions.
Okay, yeah. Like morning might not be possible. Are you, if you guys are okay with the weekend, so we will go 2 hours.
Yeah,
So what time is suitable for you in the morning?
morn morning anytime after 12. Before 12.
Okay, okay, fine. So I'll talk to Sanju and come back to you. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
So if it is daily, we'll take only 1 hour, so not more than
Yeah.
that. If it is weekend, I'll take 2 hour session. So it's the same thing, like 8 weeks. So we will mostly cover in 8 weekends.
Okay. Fine.
And if you like during our um, training. So you can ask me like, Suresh, this is one of the interview question they've asked in the interview. So can you um, like if you know after like as in that if after data warehousing topic is completed, then if you know, okay, if I'm telling something different or if someone says different answer to you, bring it to me, then we will discuss.
Yeah.
Yeah, do not assume anything. So that is what I'll say to most of the people. So do not assume things. So it is always good to discuss um, with me or with anybody. Okay,
Yes.
do not assume anything.
Yeah.
So if you do not have any questions, can we wind up here?
Yeah, nothing from my side.
Can you share the recording videos, sir?
Yeah, sure, I'll do that. Yeah, awesome.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
హలో మాస్టరు
అయిపోయిందా
అయిపోయింది.
అందరూ వదిలేయండి ఇంకా ఎలాంటి బయటికి